Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the last video, we talked about what is generative AI and why it is trending these days. So, before moving to the video, I want to ask you a question that have you guys ever wondered how these AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, GitHub Copilot actually works? What is happening behind the scenes? And when you ask any question, when you give a prompt to the ChatGPT, you will get an response like humans and more intelligent than humans these days. So in this video, we are going to discuss a brain behind the generative AI models. So large language model is something that is working behind the model that makes it possible for these AI tools to generate human-like responses. So, what is large language model? So let's start with the what is LLM. LLM stands for large language model, and why we say large, why we add large to the language model. So so its definition have two parts basically, large and the second one is language model. So this will help you to remember the proper definition of large language model. So large we use because it trained on massive amount of data. Trained on massive amount of data. Amount data. And the second thing is language model. So what are language model? So all language models have same characteristics. And what is that characteristic? Language model predict the next token. It predict the next token. And you guys now thinking what is token? Sandeep, can you please tell us what is token? So token is a word or subword. Token is nothing but a word. For now, you guys just imagine token is only a word. Okay. For example, for example, let's take an example. I love. Yes. So our language model try to predict something relevant to the I love. So model might predict you. I love you. Or let's say I love Apple. So that's it. Language model, the main job of language model is to predict the next token, and that is how it can generate full paragraph, full sentence. Okay, when we give a prompt to ChatGPT, it will give us full paragraph. So that is possible because of language model, and language model is nothing but predicting next token one by one. But now again thinking that these AI tools like ChatGPT are generating next token, but how it is possible that it have the proper context what we gave a prompt, and it gives us paragraph that are relevant to our question, that these AI tools like ChatGPT are generating next token, but how it is possible that it have the proper context what we asked to what we gave a prompt, and it gives us paragraph that are relevant to our question. Now why how it is possible? It is possible because of transformer transformer architecture. This is the main hero of large language model. Every large language model uses this transformer architecture, and in our next video we will discuss more briefly about the transformer architecture. But right now I'm just saying that this looks like this, that we provide input, it gives us representation vector, and this is our output. Input encoder, this is encoder block, and there are various things inside the encoder block, and this is the decoder block. And again, in decoder block also there are many things. So I will show you a picture of encoder decoder. Just give me a second. So you guys see this picture. So here in this picture, so in this picture, this is encoder block, encoder, and in this part is decoder block. I'm writing here decoder. Okay, so this is the transformer architecture, and all the AI tools, all the AI models using this architecture these days. So LLM came into picture after this architecture, but before, uh, let's yeah. So LLM characteristics: massive amount of data. First thing, sources. What are the sources of the text data? So Wikipedia, books, articles, public conversations, social media. So the training of large language model. Now you guys have an idea that large language models are predicting next token. Now we are discussing how a model is built, what is the training process of the large language model, and you also know that all the large language model are using this transformer architecture that have encoder and decoder block, and the job of encoder block is to process the input sentence and gives us a representation vector. See, vector, we need to do vectorization because machine do not understand the words. Machines knows the language of vectors. Okay, so encoder block gives us the representation vector, and decoder process it and gives us the output and predicting next token. Now we will deep dive into the process of training of LLM. Okay, so training of LLM. So the first part is data collection. So there are AI teams that their job is to only collect data from various sources. So I already tell where where the huge amount of text data comes. It comes from books, it comes from Wikipedia, public conversation that are available on social media and other platforms, articles, news. Okay, so using the API of these sources, we can get the text data, and yeah. So the second part is, after we got the data, we do something called tokenization. So in tokenization, sentences break into tokens, and tokens are word or subword. Okay, so like I am a boy. So in this, first we split the sentence, and these are my token. Okay, so we can do this chunking, we can do this tokenization. Now the third part is model will be trained using encoder decoder block, and the same thing is happening. We are giving sentences and we are giving output. So output in vectors, and then using the IDs of these tokens, the real sentences can be made. Okay, so this is the process is This is the process of training. So in training, model tries to predict next token. So I is passed to the encoder block, and M we will get in output. But not every time it will give us M. So so when our model predict next token, then the next token that it predicted, this next token compares, then our model compares the next token with the correct answer. So next token will be checked with the correct answer. If it is wrong, then we compute something called loss. So our model compute loss. There are many kind of losses that we already know, that mean squared error, root mean squared error, and there are other losses. So basically model, so let's take a diagram instead so that you guys can better understand. So this is exactly what is happening uh, while creating these models. So here we have text data, then we do tokenization, then we predict next token, then we compute loss, various kind of loss we can compute. We can check our next token with the correct next token with correct answer and compute loss, correct answer. And if our next token is wrong, then what is happening? Weight updates. So inside our encoder decoder block, there are parameters. So after calculating loss, we will update our parameters so that our model will become smarter. So when we do a huge amount of data, so if we are saying that huge amount of data, huge means very huge. Huge means we have millions of tokens, okay, millions of tokens. So when we do this million of times, we are passing text data, we are tokenizing it, we are predicting next token, we are computing loss, we after calculating loss, we are updating our parameters inside our encoder decoder block. Then our model becomes very smarter. It eventually start learning grammar, fact, reasoning, language understanding becomes very much. Language understanding. So this is exactly what is happening behind the scenes for creating large language model. And after we can do all this, we get the model that have the power to understand human language, and that is capable to give us responses like humans. Okay. So now we let's take two famous example. I can tell you how ChatGPT is trained. Okay, so ChatGPT is trained in three phases. First phase, pre-training. Pre-training using massive data. Massive data. This is first step. The second step is fine tuning, and the third step is reinforcement learning, RLHF, reinforcement learning using human feedbacks. So these are the three stages that are used to train ChatGPT. So in 2018, when ChatGPT came, then the first step, then only pre-training was done. Okay. So in pre-training, what we can do the same steps. we can do the exactly same steps: text data, tokenization, prediction, loss, compute, weight, update, and we get the smarter model like GPT-1. Okay, so this is the thing that was done in first phase. Now coming to the second stage, fine tuning. So in this stage, many so in this stage we 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 make our model more smarter by giving feedbacks, by giving instructions that what is the correct answer. It is like supervised learning. This fine tuning is like supervised learning. Supervised learning. Okay, so there is question and there is answer, and that are made by humans. Humans. Okay, so this is supervised learning, and on top of this model using first step, the second thing is this question and answering, and in this way we fine tune our model by giving our model right questions and right answers, by giving right answers based on the questions, and those question answers are created by humans, experts. For example, in this step, I came across one of my friend that is working with Turing. So they exactly the same fine tuning he is doing for an AI model that is for some big company. Okay, so his work is based on any question asked to the any question was asked to the AI model, and it gives response, but he is correcting the response of the AI model by by instructing ChatGPT, by instructing AI model, and he is correcting the answer. Okay. Now coming to the third step, that is human feedback. So this is so simple. This is very simple step that you guys encounters with this situation, that when you were using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gives us two responses, response one, response two, and it asked us that which one you want to prefer. Okay, then we provide our feedback. Okay, that response two is good, so you will give me this type of answers every time in future. So this is the third phase of ChatGPT. So this is how ChatGPT AI tool is based using GPT series models. Okay, so I'm giving you few things. I'm telling you few things about ChatGPT, that GPT 3.5 model. Okay, uh, you guys can think about how many tokens, what is the number of tokens that was used to train this model. Let me write it: 300 billion tokens used to train this model, and there are n number of GPU power used. Okay, and the training going on number of days now, and the training, mm, the model trained for weeks, for weeks. One more thing. So we got to know about how many tokens we used. Let's talk about 175 million parameters. Can you imagine? 175 million parameter used. And what are these parameters again? Encoder, decoder, block. Encoder, decoder, block. There are various internally things that you can see in this photo. We discussed about the photo. Yeah. So let me zoom out. Yes. So the so so parameters are using here? So in ChatGPT, there are 175 million parameters. So we will discuss this transformer architecture in our next video. That is not the scope of this video, but I want to give you some idea about these parameters. Now we can take also Google Palm. Google Google Palm. Palm. Again, this have 500 billion parameters. Yes, 500 billion parameters. I'm talking about parameters. In in GPT 3.5 have 175 million parameter, but Google Palm have 500 billion parameters. And this is the model, this is the very, big model that ever built on that time in around 2023, 22 to 23, and also 6144 TPU, bigger than GPU. V4 chips are used to train this model. Compute. You can imagine how big this model is. And again, the data used from books, Wikipedia, and many other resources that are used to collect data and train this big model. And all, yeah, there are various other models. For example, DALI, that is trained on many images that can generate image from text when providing text. Sora for the videos, and Cloud A, this is also one of the model. Gemini, there are various models these days, but our motive to summarize this video, we discussed what are language models and how language models are trained, and these two, ChatGPT and Google Palm, we discussed some of the some good fact about these models. But in next video, we will introduce the main hero of the whole story. The main hero of the whole story. Then you will connect that how generative AI models are are creating content on its own. So this is the main hero that can uh, that make it possible to build to train large language model and large language model. And after after getting large language model, it is possible to create these generative AI tools. Okay, so thank you all, thank you so much for watching my video.